Sores in my mouth are driving me crazy. They are so annoying and painful. What can I do to get rid of them quickly? All right. First of all, know that everyone gets ulcers or canker sores in their mouth from one time or another. But for those of us with Crohn's and colitis, these mouth sores, they can be really debilitating. And I do know this firsthand. I have a lot of firsthand experience with ulcers in my mouth. In my late teens, it wasn't unusual for me to have 20 or 30 of them at a time. And I know that seems like a lot, and it is a lot, and it really sucked. There's just no other way to put it because it really sucked. And I remember when they were at their worst, I really wasn't able to eat or talk. It just felt awful. They would be all over my mouth, the roof of my mouth, on top of my tongue, the bottom of my tongue, inside my cheeks, even in the back of my throat sometimes. I remember at the time trying to drink lots of milkshakes to soothe them. It just felt like, something cold and creamy. And of course, this is the 80s, so we didn't have smoothies at the time. That wasn't a fad, so it wasn't smoothies, but I did drink lots of milkshakes because that's really the only thing that I could drink, the only thing that felt comfortable to me. And these mouth ulcers, they're very common with Crohn's especially. As we know with Crohn's, we can have symptoms anywhere through the digestive tract, from the mouth all the way to the anus. These mouth symptoms are an indication that disease is active and that inflammation is present. And in the long run, we need to treat the larger issue and get to the root cause of the active disease and the inflammation with gut healing food and supplements and possibly medication and even stress management and other mindfulness techniques. But in the meantime, we have to feel better, right? We want relief. And luckily, I have a home remedy that you can try to ease the pain of your mouth ulcers, and it's made with ingredients I'm sure that you already have in your house. That's always awesome when that happens. So this 3-ingredient, because there's water in there if you include water, so 3-ingredient remedy for mouth ulcers is hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and warm water. Now, I have to tell you that I'm not much of a measurer, but I'm going to try and eyeball it for you here. I would say that I probably add 1 to 2 teaspoons of hydrogen peroxide with a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I put that in a small disposable Dixie cup. And you could use a regular cup as well, whatever cup you have on hand. Doesn't have to be a Dixie cup. And then to that, I add just a little bit of warm water. And in a Dixie cup, I do it about halfway up. So we're not talking about a lot of water. I go ahead and then swish the mixture around in my mouth for 30 seconds. 30 seconds to a minute, and then I spit it out. I would go ahead and repeat this about 4 times a day while you're experiencing mouth ulcers. The hydrogen peroxide kills the bad bacteria that's in your mouth, and the baking soda neutralizes any acid that's present and keeping your mouth inflamed. This technique, it's worked for me with a mouthful of canker sores. It's worked for clients who experience mouth sores, and for even just my family members when they end up with 1 canker sore. The key here is to just be consistent and be patient with it because it can take a few days to start working. And also, I do want to also say that I find it's best to do this mouth swish before you eat, because I find that it really helps calm things down so that eating isn't so painful. So try doing it then, and hopefully it will help your mouth ulcers calm down a little bit so that you can get at least some immediate relief. This has been an excerpt from the Cheeky Podcast for Moms with IBD, episode 29. It's just a snippet of what we talked about on the episode. So if you're a mom with Crohn's or colitis and you found this information valuable and you'll want to hear more, you can hear the whole episode where we get into the juicy questions, both big and small, all about IBD. The link for episode 29 is in the comments. And if you're not a podcast junkie like me and you'd rather get your gut loving information from YouTube, which I get because it also rocks, go ahead and click subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and then you'll know every time a new video drops. Be well, my friend.